for calling the worst of all possible hotlines. Please leave us a message including your name and your story. And note that anything you record on this voicemail, we might end up using on the show. So if you don't want your message on the show, just let us know in the message. Thanks.
Hey lads, this is Mira. Congrats on another great year of Podscast. Y'all really knock out of the park week after week in an era of low-effort content. I found the show at the start of 2023, and I finally subscribed to the Patreon a year ago while I was healing through 2 consecutive brain injuries. I'm happy to say that I'm doing a lot better today thanks to training my new neural pathways on dozens of hours of adventures in Odyssey. I'm now pursuing my new life dream of becoming the first transgender director of the NSA. Thanks for everything, boys. Can't wait to hear what you have for us in the coming year.
Hey, y'all. This is Alan. I just wanted to say thanks for the good times. I've had a not super great last couple of years, and this year has been no exception. I think the thing that keeps me coming back is the very, very incredible dynamic that you three have, Josh, Brian, and AJ. It's fucking incredible. And, you talk about things that I've never even heard of, and you make me want to, watch it and, experience it. But also, it's just fun to hear you guys talk about it. And I can't appreciate that anymore than I already do. I don't want to get too sentimental, but just know that I really appreciate it. And yeah, thanks, y'all.
I mean, there is a prayer scene in this where I'm like, oh my God,
yes. Oh boy, I'm glad you picked up on that too.
Wait a second.
Oh no.
God, no.
Rayford?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Uh-huh.
Buck?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Chloe?
Yeah.
Chloe.
What is this? What is this?
It's the 3 main characters. It's 3 of the 4 main characters of Tribulation Force.
Oh, okay.
The fourth one is the fourth one, by the way. His name is Bruce.
Wait a second.
Yeah, wait, hold on.
Bruce?
Yeah.
Buck? Ben Judah? What is this? I forgot. What is this?
What is this? What is this? Being in the future.
What is this?
I'm sure you remember last year when I told everybody, I got concussed skiing. That wasn't true.
It's true.
It was actually just lingering impacts from the hammers.
From the mallets. We have our names on them. They're all color-coded. Every year we get each other bigger mallets. It's a lovely tradition.
Wait a second.
Wait, okay.
Big mallets? The ball? A ski trip?
Yeah.
What is this?
What is this?
What is this?
What is this?
I'm asking you!
Josh, you sent us over a couple of things because Brian and I are illiterate, but you did send us over some pages from the book, little excerpts.
Yeah, they got those little
there.
funny pictures all over them in the lines.
In the lines. So when I read them, sometimes sounds happen in my head, but
sometimes I get fluids coming out of parts of me.
Wait, fluids coming out of parts of you? What?
Funny little pictures?
What is this?
What is this?
Buck, being the intrepid journalist that he is, he's not going to let anybody in the bureaucracy pin him down, right?
No.
Not his boss named Steve Plank.
I also wrote Steve Plank and then underlined it 5 times.
He is the smallest possible measurement of Steve's.
You know what? It was really unfortunate that he got he got promoted over Steve Cubit. I think it was really his time to shine.
He was just too large of a Steve.
People forget about Steve Handbreadth. That's the worst one, honestly.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Steve Plank. Steve Cubit.
Yeah.
Buck Willems?
Yeah.
What is this?
Sort of a core group has now formed, right? We've got Rayford Steele, the airline pilot. We've got Chloe, his daughter. We've got Buck Willems. And we've got Bruce.
Hold on. What is this?
No!
My name is Buck Williams. I think the whole world knows who you are.
Wait a second.
Oh.
Wait a second. Buck Williams. Rabbi Ben Judah, a sheep in a dining area?
Yeah.
What is this? I don't know what this is.
He prefers the company of men.
He was not sure how long he lay there praying, listening. After a while, he heard Bruce get up and take his seat, humming a hymn. Humming a hymn.
Humming a hymn.
We love humming a hymn, don't we?
Humming a hymn.
Soon they all sang.
Hums for hymns.
Soon they all sang quietly and returned to their chairs. All were teary-eyed. Finally, Bruce spoke. "We have experienced something unusual," he said.
We sure have, Bruce.
I don't know what to do with that, but I wanted to throw it out there and see what you guys thought.
Wait. Humming a hymn?
Yeah.
Bruce? What is this?
What is this? That's what I've been asking this whole time.
A prayer circle?
No, it's not. It's not a circle. It can't be a circle.
It's a prayer square.
How would they stretch out their long frames without bumping into each other?
Good point.
It's a good point. That is a good point. I've been owned by facts and logic.
They were all wearing leather harnesses.
Oh, no!
It's so frustrating from top to bottom, and plot-wise, things
Wait,
end...
hold on. Top? Bottom?
Yeah.
What is this?
I don't know. What do you think, Brian? What do you think it is?
I have no idea,
Okay.
Josh. I'm sorry for interrupting you.
It is full of just the worst of humanity.
Yeah.
And its worst impulses. It is full of anti-Semitism and Kirk Cameron and the end of... Wait, I'm sorry. Hold on. Anti-Semitism? Kirk Cameron? The end of the world? What is this? A Left Behind movie?
Hi, my name is Laura. I'm a non-binary woman from the UK. It's been a really challenging year for me. This was the first year of my life that I've spent employed all the way through. And on top of the challenges that came with that, earlier this year my grandfather died quite suddenly, and my mom got a surprise diagnosis of breast cancer, which has been really rough to deal with. I discovered your podcast shortly after that. I'm genuinely just so grateful to have something so thoughtful and considered and passionate to listen to every week. I feel like most of the internet's felt pretty caustic this year. So it's so lovely. I have found something that leaves me feeling hopeful and honestly leaves me feeling like I want to make music and art and other cool shit. So thanks so much, guys.
G'day, this is Max, a long-time patron and first-time caller. I wanted to thank the three interchangeable Yanks who have entertained me and occasionally my colleagues during my long remote drives across the West Australian outback for work. I've thoroughly enjoyed many episodes throughout this year, particularly the Shrimp Jesus, Donkey Kong Country, and Moneyball episodes, the last of which got me briefly into following a bit of baseball, despite having previously regarded it as a sport played and enjoyed by those too stupid and corrupt to enjoy cricket. On a more serious note, the various evangelical episodes have reawakened memories of my experience of religious education at primary school. I'm not going to bore down this message with the history and weird status of religious education and school chaplains at Australia's public education system, but I would like to relate that some of the weird episodes and others have reminded me of when I, at the right age of 11 years old, determined for myself that God did not exist. My parents actually supported me in my decision, but it still felt a bit weird and exclusionary when I was made to sit and study in another room while the rest of my year group seemed to enjoy the religious education class provided by an out-of-school chaplain. I did, however, make some great friends with the two Muslim and one Jewish student who also sat out those classes. Anyways, we ended up calling our little friend group the Heathens, and thanks for reawakening that memory for me.
Everything I want and everything I need is finally in front of me, satisfy my dreams.
Cranky's asleep.
Bad song. So
No, don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know, Brian. I kind of dig that song. I think it's so weird and so creepy. I'm watching Cranky sleep. He is sleeping so soundly.
And here's the thing about Candy is that her character trait is that because she's a broad,
right?
She just loves getting gifts of jewelry, gold and diamonds.
Yeah, keep in mind the first 10 episodes of this were already pre-written and storyboarded in France.
So 3 of the 4 episodes that we are covering today all take place within the frantic rewriting zone. So if things seem overtly sexual and racist in these episodes,
this is in the liminal space between the Canadian imagination and the French mind.
Hey y'all, this is Lane Knoll. I discovered your podcast this year, and it's really helped kind of make sense of a lot of the strangeness that has been happening. It's not been a great year, but it's mostly been a weird one. With the trans panic and the Trump stuff going on, it feels like a lot of stuff from like the sci-fi stories I read 10 years ago are becoming real. I don't know. I've managed to get bottom surgery this year. I managed to get help for a lot of good things, but it's a strange time that we're all living in, and I'm thankful for the show. I'm really grateful that y'all are making it, and I hope y'all are holding together this month, and I hope to come in here to the listeners, to the hosts, to, I don't know, just anyone in general. I just hope it's a good one interpersonally, and I hope y'all make it through. Happy 2025, y'all. Bye-bye.
My name is Andrew. I got introduced to the podcast because my boyfriend showed me it, and we've been talking about Blasphemous 2 a little bit, and he sent me your Blasphemous 2 episode, and I immediately loved it. This has been a show that he's loved for a while now, and so I had a huge backlog to work through, and I've been working through various bits, and at first it was just a way of, feeling close with someone I really care about who lives all the way in Sydney when I live in New York. And then the election happened, and it became also a bit of sanity with a good amount of humor in it, and it's been great. And I think I've listened to the Savior Seed bit for like at least 50 times now, because it doesn't fail to make me laugh hysterically. Thanks a lot, guys. Hope you have a great rest of your year.
I was thinking the other day, what if John Seed got saved?
I bet he'd start singing praise in a whole new way.
I bet he would.
Yeah.
I bet he would.
I don't know what that way would be, because he doesn't have any clearly definable tics that we could capitalize on, much like that song did with the cartoon characters.
But it would be something like, I'm going to put a gun in a Bible, hallelujah. That's a joke. That's a joke that's going to be like entirely understandable to maybe 20% of our listeners.
Yeah. Hey, we're Spell Possible Worlds. Happy arguing season. My name is Braden. I've been listening for about 2 or 3 years now, I think. I clean meth houses and crime scenes for a living, so I listen to a lot of podcasts, but I get pretty picky about them. They need to be good enough to re-listen to in the event I miss out on something, either due to equipment or, like a lot of equipment or, a difficult task to focus on. It feels silly to say, but your show makes a lot more depressing jobs easier to get through. I guess I wanted to say thank you for the funny jokes, for intense amount of empathy, vulnerability you guys have shown throughout the show, and looking forward to hearing what you guys have to make this coming year, and hopefully for all the years to come after.
Hi, my name is Liz. Hello, worst of all possible, AJ, Josh, and Brian. I just wanted to tell you that this show is part of what cheers me up, and I'm excited to listen to it. I think it's a compliment to this show that I'm even excited to hear about things that I know nothing about, because your enthusiasm for it, whether it's positive or negative, will always convince me to be interested in what you're saying with your level of analysis and jokes and whatnot. So thank you for that and for the interstitials, which are always a ride, as we all know. Happy holidays.
Welcome to the Hydraulic Press channel. Today we have package that we received posty last week from Alan in Washington. Now we will open box and see what is inside. First we have book. Who is... Oh, it is by Alan. Looks good. What else is in this box? This is strange. It is small switch, maybe 12 centimeters long. No markings on sides or front. It has been cut out from lamp maybe. If we click it. What the fuck? This is no good. Thank you, Alan, for sending us piece of shit clicker that does not work. Is there anything else in this box? Oh, here we have letter. I will try to read this letter. My name is Alan Wake. I am a writer. Please read this very carefully as I do not have much time. Enclosed in this package, you will find 2 items. The first is a hardcover copy of my most recent novel. A thrilling page-turner set in scenic Bright Falls, Washington. Return is the long-awaited latest entry in the New York Times best-selling Alex Casey detective series.
I have autographed the book if you desire to keep it. However, please feel free to press it, as I know that paper has dynamic and violent properties when subjected to sufficient pressure. Thus, it should make for good content for your channel, and equally good promotion for my novel. The second item is of much greater sentimental value. When I was a child, my mother gave me this clicker. She knew that at night I would see visions of terrifying monsters. I needed only click the switch to make them go away. It worked perfectly, until one horrible day. I was merely 8 years old when my mother took me on a tour of a windshield wiper manufacturing facility in Richland. I looked on in awe, each blade precision crafted, forged under thousands of pounds per square inch of pure hydraulic pressure. I suddenly felt an urge. I needed a windshield wiper for myself. So I jumped onto the factory floor and ran toward a press. My mother ran after me at top speed. A mysterious janitor had mere moments before mopped the floor, thus committing an OSHA violation. My mother slipped on the slick floor and fell forward onto the press, her head smushed like a tiny grape. Sometimes I eat grapes and imagine they're my mother, going all smushy in my mouth. I don't often eat grapes. From that day on, the clicker no longer worked. I send it to you now for your safekeeping. Do as you will with it. I only ask that you not destroy it. Sincerely, Alan Wake, the writer. P.S. I love you.
So, this is some kind of switch that you can flip when you're having the bad dreams, and the darkness some kind of goes away. Wait, what is this? But there is one more thing in this box. What the fuck? No. Stop. No. The clicker is dangerous and may attack at any time. So, we must deal with it.
Hey guys, this is Lewis M. from Seattle. Just wanted to say thank you for all of your coverage of all sorts of media and unpacking things from our childhoods that have been toxic and complex. What you guys have done has really made a difference as I've been raising my son this last year, trying to figure out where to go and how to raise him and all the ways that my Christian upbringing has messed me up from that. I just want to say thank you guys for shining a light on what makes that stuff so difficult and how there's a better way to do it and still care for people and love them and focus them even more than the ways that we were taught to growing up. So happy holidays and thanks so much for everything that you guys do. It really makes a difference to us.
Hey boys, Derek from Des Moines here. Just wanted to call in, let you know that, Josh said at the end of the It's a Wonderful Life episode this week that, it really matters to him to know that the show makes a difference in people's lives, and it certainly made a difference in mine. I lost my dad and my grandpa back to back, about a month apart from each other this year, and actually started listening to the show on the drive home from my grandpa's funeral, just trying to sort of push the numbness away. So it's certainly made a huge difference for me. It's been a real wonderful discovery, getting to learn about Odyssey in particular, but also like rediscovering a bunch of old games I really love, and getting back into musical theater after being a much lapsed theater kid at this point. So just wanted to thank you guys again for everything you do. Happy holidays and Happy New Year. Bye.
Hey, worst of all possible lads. This is Anne. This is Christmas Eve, and Josh is frantically editing this call-in episode. But I love you guys so much, and I'm just so proud of the work that you are doing. Not to like totally suck you off, but this is the voicemail that sucks you off. One of my favorite memories of the year, aside from hopping on the mics and talking about Doki Doki Literature Club, is that I was able to connect you with Bernie Wagenblast. She's just, I think everyone can agree, the coolest, the realest, and her airplane episode with you was just such a delight. But yeah, here's to a very happy and worst, but also happy 2025.
I mean, here's a question that I have for you. And just want to be very clear, by the way, if this isn't something that you want to talk about, that's totally okay.
Oh, no, I don't mind talking about it. I don't mind.
The voice that plays on the subways is still, I guess you could say, like your masculine or male presenting voice, right?
Yeah, I call it my guy voice.
Your guy voice, yes.
Okay.
Do you still do work with that guy voice? Are you now like, I don't want to do that anymore? Like, where do you find yourself, and what does that look like in terms of your day-to-day work?
Maybe the best way to answer that is by doing this. The next downtown number 2 will arrive in 2 minutes. Please stand away from the platform edge. So
Unreal.
As you can hear, I don't mind that voice. If they need new announcements, and the most recent one was in December, I recorded new announcements for the subway.
Okay.
I go back to that voice. And I'm a voice actor, so that is a voice that I'm acting in. So I don't have a problem with it.
Bernie, it literally, I mean, just to give like sort of the listeners the experience of watching that, it was like you were possessed by an entirely different person, and that voice just came out of you. It's unreal.
But that's acting, right? That's fucking acting.
Just the tone of it too. It was like you were dubbed. It was like it came from a totally different place. And AJ and I are. AJ's a talented actor, and
Brian is also a very talented actor, and
but like
actor.
that level of skill and control always just blows me away.
If let's say a voice actor wanted one of these jobs, they just have to ask somebody for. Do you have a name or perhaps a phone number that we could call? The Patreon pays the bills, but I'm in deep.
AJ, the MTA does not want someone going off on tangents about horses. Let me fill that 5-minute wait that you have.
Have you looked at the Central Park horse carriage rides? Maybe.
Oh, maybe.
Hey, name is Ryan. I started listening this year. First episode was the supermarket sweep one. I just caught my attention because I used to watch it with my mom a lot when I was growing up. Watched a little bit of the new one. Something about that just felt vile. Anyway, love the show. Listen to it every week. I appreciate y'all.
Hey, this is Ray. I wanted to call and tell you guys that I laughed my ass off during episode 128 with the whammies. The whammies bit really cracked me up. That episode came out on my birthday, and I also came out on my birthday. I finally told my parents that I'm trans, and they have not talked to me since, which sucks. Other than that, it's been a huge year for me. And you guys have sort of, just been a part of that every week. I changed my name legally. I started dating the woman I've had a crush on for years. I got top surgery. I bought a house. And every week I listen to you guys as part of that. And my favorite ongoing bit is just every time Josh will mention some tiny aspect of growing up in West Michigan. I'm like, oh my God, I know that. I know that thing. I know the East Belt line. I'm familiar. I've lived here my whole life, and it's a fun, neat little piece of coming home. But yeah, thank you guys for being, sorry, a much needed, I guess, respite from a lot of the less cool things going on in my life this year. Being able to sort of tune it out and laugh for a little bit has meant the world to me. So thank you for that, and keep it up, and happy holidays. Bye.
No, the whammies get sus.
Sorry, I mixed it up.
Their
Whammies do
mouths
not give ever.
No, the
whammies
mouths
only
are far
receive.
too small. They just take your money and they take your mouth.
I don't know what a whammy is.
He's like, the whammy is sort of like the Noid.
Oh, the Noid, yeah, another like horrible.
Yeah. He's a horrible.
Oh, he's not his hair. I remember hair for some reason.
Oh yeah. No, that's like the vintage. Sorry, there's different whammies from different eras.
Look at that.
This guy's a fucking pervert.
That's like something you'd see.
A nightmare.
That's like something you'd see on a game show out of Spain.
Hey guys, I'm calling in from the great state of Michigan, and I just wanted to say that I love the pod. One episode of Wits on the Summer is just about the length of the drive to my girlfriend's place, and I've listened to you enough during those trips that I now associate Adventures in Odyssey with getting whipped in a gay sex dungeon. So, thanks for that, I guess. Anyways, keep up the good work.
Hi, this is Muppet Imp. A friend from the Geek Salad podcast turned me onto your show. The AIO stuff hooked me in, and I became a patron so I could get all of those episodes, and I've been having a great deal of fun listening and re-listening to all the other episodes. I wasn't familiar with AIO, but when my mother was in her Episcopalian phase, she did put me in front of Davy and Goliath when I was a kid, and also the original run of Battlestar Galactica, which, well, Mormony was close enough. I love Brian's one-man play about summarizing what had been happening on AIO up to that point when you guys were getting ready for the wrap-up. And then, of course, one of my favorite moments of Worst of All Possible Worlds came when I was driving home from work, listening to the final interstitial of Lorne Logorian Saga. When everything looked bleak and I started to become concerned, someone we hadn't heard from in a while showed up, and I delightedly cried, "Petey!" in my car. In conclusion, you guys all do such a great work collaborating. Please keep it up. Know that some of us do say, "Oh, brother," unironically. And I look forward to listening to the Worst of All Possible Worlds as we head into the coming years. And remember, Broadway's back, baby, in pod form. Bye.
Hello, everyone. Thank you all for coming out to New York City's One Man Play Festival. Plenty of festivals in New York support solo plays by artists of any gender, but we here at NICOMF are proud to commit, as we have for 45 seasons now, to producing the work of New York's theatrical auteurs, the loneliest, most repulsive, least fuckable men.
Woo!
Tonight's...
Let's go, dude!
Yes, very proud, yes. Tonight's virgin is an aging playwright and performance student, Mr. Brian Alfred. His play is called The Adventure of Odyssey, an American Fantasia with asides to the history of popular music. Emergency exits are right behind you through the half-sized door next to the regular-sized door you just walked in through. In case of a fire or other emergency, exit out through the bar, through the genderless restroom, and out onto the sidewalk. Without any further ado, Chauncey!
Oh, God.
The lights!
Oh, okay. All right.
Woo!
Nice.
Hi, my name's Autumn, and I would like to thank the worst three boys for, just making a really fucking entertaining show. And also, like, it's a rare occurrence to find, listen, I'm not going to here to define your identities, but, to find nominally, at least from my understanding, cisgender, folks who have actually, like, a concept of trans folks in terms of, like, having a bunch of trans folks on your show and, like, not being shit about it. And I don't know, it's to a level that I really appreciate. It's, fucking rare occurrence, and especially with everything going the fuck down in the world. And, I appreciate the humor and also digging up the fucking repressed memories I have of John Avery Whitaker. Anyways, you're all lovely. Keep it up. And to all the listeners, you're also lovely and keep on fighting. And now as an outro, I'm going to reclaim a bunch of slurs. Anyways, keep it on.
Oh, hey, this is Jay, long time, first time. I'm looking to become a friend of the show. Who do I have to fuck for that to happen? And my favorite part of the show this year was Sonia Burpo.
Hi guys, I am the worst of all possible Adrias. I'm calling in to tell you how much I love the podcast. I subbed for Tim Sutton and I stayed for all of the evangelical discussions. I was born and raised in the Canadian Bible Belt in a town run by the Dutch, so I love all of the commiseration I get about having to live under their terrible wooden shoes. My favorite bit this year was episode 130 at 2 hours and 9 minutes. The tactical horse corner deployment brought me a lot of joy this year.
But basically, yeah, I pulled the clip here too. Todd is now talking to Sonia. He's having a full-on crisis.
Oh, to Sonia Burpo?
The very same.
Sonia Burpo.
Believe him. Okay, I want to believe him. He's 4. He's 4. He's so innocent. He can't be making this up. But everything he talks about is impossible. It is a massive adventure that he's created. He's talking about Jesus. Seeing Jesus' horse.
Ooh, yeah. No.
Horse.
Stop it. No.
A rainbow horse, huh?
The fuck?
Makes me want to taste the rainbow.
No.
If you know what I mean.
You're in prison.
Makes me want to taste the rainbow so hard, Skittles pop out.
I hate you both.
But if this horse is all the colors of the rainbow, that means a lot of it is invisible to the naked eye.
Don't eat my shit.
How much of this horse can't we see? How much of ourselves can't we see? All I know is Jesus definitely messed around with that horse. How else could he have come up with the camel through the eye of a needle? This has been AJ's Horse Corner.
Ooh, yeah.
AJ's Horse Corner.
I hope you die. I hope we both die.
I wondered when I was coming after the horse came up, I was like, wow, AJ's not here. Is there not going to be a horse corner? But alas, his power knows no bounds.
This is the most owned I have ever been.
What's up, worst of all possible lads? It's me, your friend, the worst of all possible Donovan. Just calling in to say how much I appreciate y'all and all the cool shit you and also with me, you have done with me. That wasn't good phrasing. The cool stuff y'all have done this year, some of which I have been a part of. Fucking got to compose music for the first time for y'all's show. Got to do some voice acting. Got a bunch of creative support from y'all. Y'all were excellent guests on my show. And I got to hang out with Josh. Y'all are some of my favorite people I've met doing this podcast stuff, and I love the show. And looking forward to more worst of all possible worlds in the worst of all possible worlds in which we live. Okay, and here is my worst of all possible goodbyes.
Hey guys, this is Lauren, caller from the distant north of Maine. You guys are honestly incredible. Like, the amount of work you guys put in, the depth, passion, the knowledge with which you guys talk about everything you cover, it means a lot to me. I'm a recovering Catholic. I'm a trans woman, and that was sort of a requirement for being safe to transition, was leaving the church. And just listening to you guys talk about, like, your experiences with, like, more strict religiosity and stepping away from that, like, helped me to process and deal with these sorts of things as I figure myself out. I get excited every time an episode comes out because it's always really informative and exciting and a ton of fun. And I just wanted to call in and let y'all know that you reach some quite distant and remote places, and the work you do means a lot up here. Bye.
Hey, worst of all possible hotline. It's Trevor from the ostensible podcast, No Cartridge. I'm calling to say that the worst of all possible worlds has been, as always, a source of constant confusion, intrigue, joy, and vexation for me, as as per the last few years as well. I appreciated you letting me be part of my least favorite conversion narrative of all time. Next time, maybe we can do, I don't know, another one, a different one. Yeah, even one that happens in the world of Wit's End. We could maybe Wit comes back to life and gets canonized. I don't know. I hope it happens, because I hope I can come back and listen to those crazy little radio plays again. And thanks so much for including me in what you guys do. It is a treat and a pleasure. You're all absolute artistes.
And just for the purposes of your soul, I want all of you, those of you here recording the podcast and those of you at home or on the road listening to us, to just really pay attention to what you're going to hear
Okay, thanks,
Katrina
Brian.
say here. Okay.
Bart! I need my...
Wait, hold on. What is this? What is this?
Oh, you fucking asshole.
Good morning, Cathedral, and welcome to the 30th and final installment of the CCTV Tridecology. I'm Macalupo. And I'm AJ Diddy.
Hey, you're AJ Diddy, right? Welcome to Catholic school. My name's David. I'm going to take you under my wing. Boy, I sure love catechisms and homilies, but don't you think we'd have a little more fun if maybe we were in another denomination?
Where's the pizzazz, the drama, the weepy montage?
Well, hello there, AJ Diddy. This here is Mayor Fiorello LaGuardia.
Oh my
and
God!
I'd like to personally welcome you to New York City.
Wow, holy shit!
Please stand away from the platform edge.
Wow. New York University, the only university in all of New York.
The Puffs. Bye.
The Pope keeps things from us, you know. Did you know that, AJ? For instance, Jesus had short hair. You won't hear that from a priest, but it's true.
Yeah.
Why, yes, AJ, of course I'll marry you. By the way, I've been reading the biography of William Jennings Bryan. It's very inspiring. You should check it out sometime.
Is that Ellie, your spouse?
I am the marketing intern here with the Chocolate Playhouse, and I'm Steve. AJ Diddy. Is there a certain way that you've prepared yourself to become a neurotic mess?
I am a neurotic mess, so it was very easy to slip into character. He's very childlike in a lot of ways. He's sort of reached this point in his life when he's reached an existential crisis and he really doesn't know who he is. So he kind of has to be reborn as the person he was always kind of meant to be.
Reborn? Born again?
Hey, I live with you now. Did you know that some people actually get submerged underwater when they're baptized? That sounds way more spiritually fulfilling than, I don't know, confessing sins to a priest or something.
I think the only way you'd start believing in God is if you ended up in some kind of worst case scenario. Like an absolute catastrophe. It would have to be so outlandish and so detrimental to your health. Like if, I don't know, you know that weird mustache guy from New Mexico? The one who keeps following you around and calling himself your dramaturg? Like if you started a YouTube channel with him or something. Or worse, a podcast.
We're starting this mini-series on Adventures in Odyssey.
Oh, you think it's Minnie?
Well, for the time being, I've decided to call this particular miniseries Wit's Endless Summer.
Wow.
What's this? You see the news here? Some kind of new disease. They're calling it COVID-19.
It was discovered on December 31st?
Oh.
Hey, that's the day you decided not to convert to Protestantism, AJ.
Look, I know it's frustrating having to hunker down like this with a disease raging outside, but it's like what Andrew Fuller said. All our sufficiency to do good or abstain from evil is from above. You just need to give over to God's will. You also need to understand that transubstantiation is a heresy.
You're reading the Bible? Me too. What version? Oh, the Holman. So you're one of those, huh?
Obviously, I agree with you, AJ. Adrian Rogers was the best president of the Southern Baptist Convention. It's not even close. But why is this coming up in the middle of my Zoom reading?
Does anyone really know where we are?
The end of days is coming soon, AJ. Do you want to be raptured, or do you want to spend 7 years hanging out with Kirk Cameron and an airplane pilot out in the suburbs?
AJ, you are totally right about Night of the Coconut. You're the only one who's figured out that the movie is actually about how theology gets out of control if it's not backed up by scripture. Like, if I didn't know better, I'd say you were a Southern Baptist or something.
AJ, I think you've been exposed to just enough of Christianity that it's like you've been vaccinated against it. Luckily for you, vaccines don't work. That's right. I, Graham Techler, do not believe in vaccines.
Hey AJ, it's your old buddy Trevor from the Mark Maron podcast and also Sometimes No Cartridge. AJ, you've spent so many years of your life playing Dark Souls, but you have ignored how dark your own soul is because you were baptized into the Catholic Church.
And not even the right kind of baptism, that stupid trickling kind. Baptism means being submerged in water.
Whoa! Here's the thing. The Munster Rebellion wasn't anywhere near as bad as everyone says.
Penjamin's own Josh Sawyer?
Catholics have been telling lies about Baptists for hundreds of years, whether they're Anabaptists or Southern Baptists. You gotta follow the money.
AJ, I have a book for you that I really think you'll like. It's called The Purpose-Driven Life.
I'm just in shock.
Hi, AJ. You are a really good playwright. When I first came to the Lord,
that's a familiar
my church
voice.
had a drama ministry. And I thought, oh, that must be what God wants me to do because I'm an actress, right? So I tried out, and I was really, really good. And they said, we don't think you've been a Christian long enough. And they didn't accept me. And I was really shocked. Just because your stuff isn't getting accepted doesn't mean you aren't good. You know, the right match will come along. God loves you. He says, I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you, give you hope and a future, right? So stick with that.
It's funny, you know, ever since I came on the podcast, I've been looking into this whole Protestantism thing.
Yeah.
No promises. It still looks pretty bad, but there is this one denomination. You ever heard of these guys called the Southern Baptists?
This has been AJ's Doghouse.
Good riddance.
I thought bits were supposed to be funny.
I think you're finally starting to realize something that you and Slenderman have a lot in common. Oh. Both of you have sinned. Both of you need forgiveness. And both of you need to be baptized in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit and raised to walk in a new life.
I think you've been wanting to become a Baptist for a very long time, AJ. Maybe one day you'll be able to admit it to yourself.
Hey AJ, it's Maya. I'm still not totally convinced that you are real, but I am convinced that you are a sinner and the grace of Christ is your only path to salvation.
Look, here's the thing, man. God is pursuing you right now. And if you don't believe me, think about all the times that somebody has mentioned God in your presence.
There's only one arbiter, AJ, and he knows every score.
You need to convert, AJ. You need to become a Southern Baptist.
You need to join the Baptist Church.
You need to become a Baptist.
Become a Southern Baptist, AJ.
AJ, you need to recite the Shahada.
Just join the Southern Baptist Church. I know the convention has been a mess, but you can only change it from the inside.
Hey, AJ, I can see you trying to figure out whose voice this is. We've never met.
You don't know me. I'm Dean. You need to convert, though. You need to join the Southern Baptist Church.
That's my friend Dean. You need to make the right choice for yourself, which means you have to do what everyone else is telling you to do. I'm Petrea, by the way. We also haven't met.
Get baptized, AJ. The real way. They have a little swimming pool right there in the sanctuary.
It's time.
It's time, AJ.
AJ, it's time. Well, that's,
Oh, hold on.
Hi, you've reached the worst of all possible worlds. Unfortunately, we have been shut down by the authorities, but please, leave a message and we'll try to get back to you as soon as we can.
AJ? AJ? Hello? Pick up the phone, AJ. AJ, this is your lawyer speaking. Look, I don't have enough time to get into the details, but you need to join the Southern Baptist Church now. I've already joined myself, but it's not enough. AJ, they're at the door. I love you, AJ. You'll never take me alive.
I say yes. I say yes.
Hi, my name is Bina, and I've been listening to this show for a while. And I have to say, honestly, all of your bits make me laugh. I listen to it a lot at work because my job's pretty boring. But your wits, Endless Summers, spoke to a pretty old and hurt part of me because I grew up in evangelical Christianity, and when I left it, I had a lot I had to work through spiritually, and to hear the way you all talk about it, it means a lot, especially because I converted to Judaism after a while, and you all spoke to childhood experiences my new community couldn't really relate to. Thank you for all you do, and I hope you have a great new year. Bye-bye.
I just want to say thank y'all for everything you're doing. Like Josh and Brian, I also grew up in the evangelical church, and listening to y'all has really helped me understand why I'm fucked up in some of the ways I am fucked up. So keep up the good work. Thanks. Have a great new year. Bye.
Hi there, this is Leah calling from Sydney, Australia. I started listening to the podcast for the first time this year, which has also been the first year I've started doing some professional work as a live entertainment/theatre technician, which is an industry that's still rather male-dominated compared to what I'm used to. And it's been good, and I can't stress enough how oddly helpful it's been to get to listen regularly to men who are expressive and thoughtful and progressive and enthusiastic, and to have insights from you on things that you think are interesting or important. It's been entertaining, but it's also been useful in terms of getting to learn more about different kinds of people in an in-depth way, and I really appreciate that. Also, I discovered this podcast through Patrick H. Willems sharing the out-of-context clip of Brian losing his mind over the climax of The Boss Baby 2, which was truly out of context for me, having not seen that movie. And that clip, really the podcast in general, but also that clip in specific, was an absolute highlight of the year for me, and it has honestly added years to my life. So thank you for everything, and I hope you all have very happy holidays.
As we remember, the Skinamarink phone is the hotline over to Baby Corp.
Right. Yeah, Baby Corp.
And Amy Sedaris, the boss baby, who is still a baby, remains a baby, the boss daughter, she runs out. She's like, I'm not going to worry about it. But then Ava Longoria, the boss adult dad kid's wife, is an adult boss baby, it turns out. She picks up the phone, and none of the boss babies, boss adults, boss adjacent adults, or boss adjacent non-baby, non-boss children know about this.
This is your Ozymandias speech.
I just did one last week, too.
So proud of you, Brian.
I can't keep being Ozymandias.
But you're blonde.
Like, I'm looking on my own works and despairing right now.
I mean,
That's true.
I am a vast and single trunkless leg. I have no fucking trunk. There are travelers from antique lands walking by me all the fucking time.
He's doing this off the dome, listeners. He's not looking at the poem.
The falcon is not seeing any falconers. The centers
are holding quite well.
Oh, okay, nice.
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
especially in this movie, the center is holding quite well.
What's another poem I know?
Hi, my name is Sasha. I found you guys through Lions Led by Donkeys like a couple weeks ago. I grew up devoutly Catholic in the Deep South, and the with endless summer stuff is just so wild, and I love it so much. But yeah, I'm really glad I found y'all, and I'm here for it. I'm all in. And AJ, your interstitials, they just blow my mind. I have cried so many times. It is completely absurd. You're an amazing storyteller. Keep it up. Thank you.
Hey, this is John. I started listening this year because of the Wits Endless Summers, and I think that's specifically because one of the guests you had on, but I cannot remember now. I gotta say, listening to the horrors of evangelical media as someone who was raised as basically a secular Catholic was very enlightening as to the culture of a good chunk of this country, in the sense that looking into the abyss is very enlightening. My other favorite moment, and this is a bit more sincere, a bit more serious, is the whole wrap-up to the whole interlude saga you did, and the kind of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure reset you did, and all how neatly you tied up those emotional arcs that you had somehow actually developed in the goofy interludes that are supposed to be ad segments. Writing was excellent, performances were excellent. Bravo. And hope next year and the next one are even better. Bye.
Mr. Pop. You okay? Buddy.
Petey?
Petey. Nobody's called me Petey since I was yay high. My name's Sapati. Pete Sapati. And I just gotta say, I'm so glad you're not dead. I did not need that in my wake.
Did it work? Did we do it? Did we make a new world?
Are you on drugs, kid? Because fair warning, the people of Odyssey do not respond well to lowlifes and grifters.
I ain't no grifter. I live here for Jiminy's sake.
Well, if you ain't a grifter, then why are you completely nude?
Completely nude? Oh, peaches and cream! Where are my dang clothes?
Look, do you have anyone I could call, a friend or a mental health professional?
Petey. You gotta call Petey. Petey Pounderoga.
Petey Pounderoga?
Yeah, he owns Petey Pounderoga's Pound Town. You new around here or something?
I've lived here my whole life, and I have never heard of no Petey Pounderoga. Let me call up a friend of mine, and he's gonna give us a ride to the hospital, okay?
We touched the book together.
Hey,
we should have come out together, too. Why didn't we?
Riley's farm. Some naked guy showed up in the bramble.
Must have messed up somehow.
Yes, again.
Stupid Lauren, you had one job. Stupid,
better hurry up. He's not well. Okay, bye. He'll be here in 5. In the meantime, let's wrap you in my coat here.
Much obliged. It's some gizmo you got there. Is that a glass car phone?
Glass car phone? I know I ain't upgraded my smartphone since 2016, but I hardly call it a car phone.
What did you say?
I said I haven't upgraded it since...
No, sorry. What year is it?
Buddy, it's 2024.
That's impossible. It's 1995. Floyd Collins the musical came out just last year.
They made Floyd Collins into a musical?
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Hey, it's okay. Everything's gonna be just fine. I'm gonna get you some water, all right? Just stay put until Hooten gets here. Another naked guy. It's like, how many in a week could I possibly see? It doesn't make any sense.
Wooten? Who the fuck is Wooten?
The best is yet to come the day you're mine.
Hey, this is Bud Studdard with Express Courier. I'm calling about a POD request for a knob delivery a few months ago. If you can sign one of the slips I've been pushing to the mail slot, that'd be great. We also have a parcel that appears to be a complete assembled pipe organ that we've been unable to deliver. We don't have any forklifts that can lift the dang thing. So if you want to swing by and get this thing off our dock, that'd be great. Some of the dockers have been practicing, and they're great, but it's really cutting into our unload times.
Greetings, brothers. On behalf of myself and all our mutual friends in the symposium, I would like to extend our most heartfelt congratulations for exposing the heretic interloper John Avery Whittaker and ensuring that his time in Palestine came to a quick and ignominious end. We note, however, that you were unable to stop him from making good his escape and reasserting control over the house on the threshold. This is deeply unfortunate. Let us hope, for your sake and the sake of the world, that 2025 is the year that we end the scourge of Christianity once and for all. I hate you for doing this to me. Happy New Year, you pieces of shit.
Devon and I decided we were going to play Elden Ring on the stream, and
Everyone's
I managed to surprise Devon by loading in as an almost perfect representation of Gerbert.
It was flawless. That is where Gerb Stomped came from.
Oh, hell yeah.
The moment, Devon, that you're like, Gerbert, no!
So, what the fuck did you just... Is that a little try of my accent there?
I guess.
Gerbert. When I first saw Gerbert roll, I went, "Oh, blow me down!" It's fucking Gerbert.
What have you done?
It was the intensity. What rings in my head still is the intensity of the like, no! Fuck!
No! We had 2 nights previous to this, watched 2 episodes of Gerbert on the stream, and like, I think... Our chat,
which we will get to,
was so mad.
Our chat did not want to be watching Gerbert that evening.
I remember looking at the Discord after, and there was a sign that someone had changed from like the sort of nuclear warning. This is like, "Don't dig Gerbert here."
Boy, I hate wandering the lands between.
That's a pretty good Gerbert.
I can't stand being tarnished.
Oh, no.
Hey guys. Just giving you a little buzz here to say thank you for a year of japes, a year of laughs, a year of fancy movies. I didn't really write anything for this, so I'm just sort of going to ramble at you, do it soppy and sloppy, which is, it's when I'm at my best. That's why they loved me at uni. I'm pretty glad that we've managed to close out the trifecta. We've gotten all 3 of you on Kill James Bond this year. I know Josh was technically before the end of 2023 with Agent 3S3 Passport to Hell, but I think it still generally counts. And I'm very much looking forward to you guys closing out the reverse trifecta next year, getting all 3 of us onto the Worst podcast with Abby in January, I'm hoping. And at that point, when we've had all 3 of us on each other's podcast, that's sort of like the modern equivalent of marrying off our daughters to a different house of noble scions, We're going to work together very strongly in the coming years, I think. Brian, AJ, I'm sure you guys have been nice, but I've really got to take the time for my boy here, Josh. As some listeners will know, Josh and I are co-stars on the twitch.tv traditional Scrench stream alongside Trinket and November. And I've really spent the year getting to know him, so I now know a little bit too much about old Macintoshes, and I would say entirely too much about children's TV puppets. Christian children's TV puppets at that, my God. I'm not talking Kermit. I'll cut my ramble short here, guys, and just say, AJ, you wrote the best interstitials this year. Brian, Josh, next year you can do it. I believe in you too. From my podcast Empire to yours, I've loved listening to The Worst Idea of All Time this year, and I can't wait to hear what you guys do in 2025. Love you.
Hey, Brian, Josh, and AJ. This is Malloy. I actually came to you guys through, There's Your Problem, the theater episode specifically, but then going back, I realized I'd heard some of you guys on Trash Future and things, but it's interesting to me coming to you guys through There's Your Problem, because listening to you guys just talk about things I've seen, things I haven't seen, and your focus on how stories work, what the creative process is like, over the past few months to a year, I guess, since that theater episode came out, has really helped me just start making things. I don't think it's good, but it exists, and I can edit I can edit what exists. I can work on things. I've shared things with friends. They've been able to give me feedback, and I've actually started to finally begin writing and just making stuff. None of it's amazing, but I just want you guys to know that your approach to everything has been really, really good for me. I just want to say thank you. This is fairly rambly. Apologies, but the Worst of All Possible Worlds has been a great way to feel the stress of creation and also the fun of doing something just for the sake of doing it and improving afterwards. I hope you guys have a wonderful holiday season. I hope Goku gets the biggest he's ever been, and I hope the Horse Corner can finally find its home in the heart of Cimarron, Heart of the Stallion. Spirit of the Stallion, which was my child's favorite movie growing up. So, keep up the good work. Thanks for the inspiration. And I'll keep giving you $10 so I can hear you guys talk about all kinds of fancy movies.
I started Dragon Ball Z. This is Brian. I watched it on Toonami with the first Tom, who they slaughtered like a dog, and they blamed you for it because they had the little tie-in flash game that you were supposed to play every day, and they're like, you didn't help Tom enough.
Really?
Now he's dead.
You should have done better.
And the second Tom has muscles, Brian, and it's gonna do things to you. Sinful things.
Was it the lack of a head? Like, what was it about? Was it just that he had muscles? Like, what
they both
did it
have
for you?
heads. What?
They all have
They all have heads.
Yeah, but you can't see what they are. They're just like, they're helmets.
Do you think that when someone wears a helmet, their head goes away?
Well, we never saw his head, so we don't know. There could be nothing under there,
head,
like a
AJ.
ghost
I saw
situation.
his head. The helmet is his head because he's a robot.
All right, look. We need to relax because if we get here too soon, we're not going to have room for when Goku impresses us with his strength.
Hi guys, my name is Nino and I'm calling in from Montreal, Canada. I just wanted to say I really enjoy your podcast. I started listening in March of this year and I got hooked. I've listened to most of your backlog. I've listened to what came out this year. I really enjoyed the Odyssey stuff and your episode on Buried Child. I thought it was a really cool format for a theater episode. I think most importantly, what your podcast means to me is what food means to Goku, because I've had a lot, but I could always have more. Anyway, thank you for your hard work and happy holidays. Bye.
Hey, this is Ray. I just wanted to call and thank the boys for another good year of pods and how they cast them. I listen to entirely way too many podcasts. I spend about 8 hours a day on the road, and finding you guys last year filled a niche that just went completely unfilled until now. It's not often we get a podcast about the dying American empire and the evangelical project that doesn't come off as writing people off as uncultured yokels who don't know what they're doing, but actually looks beneath the surface for all the wriggling grubs in the dumpster. and you engage with what makes it so bizarre. It's just a great listen, top 10, recommended to everyone I know. And up until last year, I never thought I'd get so emotional about a fucking organ salesman. You guys have given me something to look forward to every Wednesday, and I know that even when the world gets too dark, like Thief or Thief 2, there's going to be something to look forward to fill me with hope and leave me so full.
Hi, lads. It's Ela. This year, I especially appreciated the episodes about the slop era, like Skippy Toilet and Nostalgia Critic and Shrimp Jesus. I'm of similar age and politics to you guys, and I think for people like us, there's this temptation to mistake our incomprehension of that stuff for simple incoherence or a defeat of our own ideological framework even. But you guys know, because you've been covering evangelicalism and, let's be honest, Shark Tank and Minions, slop isn't a new phenomenon. And all of this newer stuff still has legible context, traceable lineage, dialogue with the material conditions of its makers and its audience. In the coming years, I think it's going to be really important to recognize that sloth not only can be understood, but is worth understanding. And I am really, really grateful to you guys for reminding me of that in the face of, you know, what the internet's like now.
Hey, my name is Lizzie. I'm living in Madison, Wisconsin, but I'm originally from the UP, so I do appreciate all the Michigan references. I was just calling to say thanks for such an awesome year. I've been a listener now for a couple of years, and one of the moments that stuck out to me the most that I keep thinking about again and again is the commercial break during the Shrimp Jesus episode, all about who we are on social media and how we don't know ourselves and don't know each other the way we used to. And oh my God, I've showed that to a number of my friends and just listen to this. I don't know if you dig the actual podcast, but this will sit with you for a while. Y'all are doing the Lord's work, and I really look forward to another year of listening to you guys. Please, more Horse Corner, please. I need more Horse Corner. Thanks, AJ. Bye.
This week's episode is brought to you by that feeling you get when you're browsing your old Facebook at 4 a.m. When the world outside is quiet and still, but your brain buzzes with memories of every botched social interaction you've had from the ages of 14 to 35. Particularly one deeply uncomfortable incident involving Felix Cunningham, your old college friend/rival who once caught you in a lie so egregious that you spent weeks in the fetal position on your bathroom floor, blaring "Round Here" by the Counting Crows because you yourself felt like a sleeping child running like the wind out of a lightning dream. And you, current you, some 15 years removed from the bathroom floor, are still trying to banish the memories of cold tile and Evan Williams whiskey by throwing yourself deeper into yourself, attempting to decipher the hidden meaning behind statuses like "Scott Pilgrim is the best movie of the year, hands down," and "I'm apparently getting worse," and "new pants," but ultimately finding nothing. This week's episode is also brought to you by the feeling of coming across an old picture of you and Felix Cunningham. Arms flung across each other, your faces contorted in expressions you imagine were meant to be smiles, but instead look like a toddler trying to figure out how the fuck a face works. In a dorm room adorned with posters of Heath Ledger's Joker and Amelie's Mona Lisa smile, and that one print of a wave that threatens to pull every college student out to sea, where you spent a not insignificant amount of time with Felix looking just like this. Young and invincible, and so much hotter than you ever thought you could be. The whole world ahead of you and nothing behind you. The impossible feeling that, together, there was nothing that could stop you from becoming the you were always destined to be. And you notice that underneath the 3 likes by 3 classmates you stopped talking to years ago, not out of malice, but just out of time, the singular comment from somebody named Eric that just reads, "Epic." And you briefly think, yeah, I guess it was pretty epic. And you get an empty feeling in your chest, a longing not for those days exactly, but for the company, for the shitty stock dorm room, for your eyes looking so full of life and love and under the influence of just so many different kinds of drugs that in an act of impulsive bravado, you make the impossible decision to message Felix after all these years to see if he too remembers those drunken nights scream singing "Round Here" in a dive karaoke bar on Sullivan Street, and those feelings of immortality and joy, and in your quietest moments, a longing for something that remained unspoken but hummed under every interaction and perhaps could finally be given a voice. This week's episode is also brought to you by the feeling of clicking through to Felix's profile page and seeing the word "remembering" before his name, and the world going quiet as you scroll through the list of well-wishers, some names you recognize and some you don't, realizing what was hidden would always remain hidden. and kicking yourself for not reaching out sooner, for not paying close enough attention to this diseased app, for being so self-absorbed that you couldn't take the time to check in on this person who was once a close friend, and you find yourself scrolling through older and older posts, past the mourners and well-wishers, and into his old statuses, his old life updates, his photos of those same dorm parties, and you realize as you scroll through all these old posts that they too are like yours, equally banal, childish, and cryptic in their brevity, and that now, in his absence, this is what remains of him. Fading videos and crumbling code propped up as a mausoleum to his youth, a collective place of mourning that Facebook can monetize and use to prop up their user numbers, a deeply, deeply uncanny ground that feels like peering into the diary of a ghost, and you find yourself hooked, your eyes glued to the screen as you read every one of his posts, desperately dedicating as much of him as you can to memory so that he can exist outside this place, outside these ones and zeros that make up his mark to prove that this, all of this, was worth something in the end. The more you read, the clearer he appears in your mind, the closer you feel to those days in that terrible dorm room, dreaming of the future you now occupy, and you scroll and scroll and scroll until there is no more. And you click back to your profile as the sun creeps its way into your little room and the cursor at the top of the bar catches your eye. What's on your mind? And you think of the enormity of that question, the enormity of everything, really. But you raise your fingers and type, Felix Cunningham was my friend. The world is so much darker without him in it. And you hope that when you go, when someone else is up at 4 a.m. remembering every one of their botched social interactions, that they will come across your profile and they will read your message and they will know what he meant to you. And hopefully, they will do the same for you.
Hi there, my name is Cariad, and I've been a listener of the show for about a year. There's two highlights of the year that I'm particularly happy for, I guess you could say. One of them being is the whole episode on Chrono Trigger. I thought that was actually really awesome. And the other thing is, and one thing that resonated with me, is the suggestion that, you know, in dealing with our foes who do not wish to respect the rights of others, and talking about evangelicals, but, you know, the right in general, they want to hold down on the gas pedal, and telling us to do so ourselves too really resonated with me, and I want to say that's probably the nicest thing I've heard all year. Anyway, thanks for the show. Great work, and love you all. Take care. Bye.
Congratulations on covering both Chrono Trigger and Outer Wilds in the same year, possibly the two greatest games ever made. Games are back, and worst of all possible worlds is bringing them back. I also want to say that I got divorced this year, and there were many, many moments throughout the year where I couldn't handle all of my feelings and couldn't hold them all at once and just needed something else to think about. And Worst of All Possible Worlds gave me so many other things to think about.
Hello, lads. This is Dora, aspiring weird soap lady, and one of your 5 Swedish listeners, or could there even be 6 of us? Who knows? This year has felt ever so slightly more absurd than the last, especially coming from within the tech industry. And you are one of a few podcasts that act as the media that helps me remember I'm not the one who's going insane for noticing the obvious. If I were to request the great conversion of AJ from the Dutch Knight, I expect there would be one of at least 50 to do so. So instead, I'd like to request an especially heartwarming part from your discussion on a game that's very near and dear to me. And that would be Luca and Roba's side quest from Chrono Trigger. Thank you once again, and stay wonderful.
And then you have a campfire scene where it's you
oh my God,
and
yes,
the entire cast of your wonderful characters all sitting around a campfire, and all of a sudden you can control it, but you're controlling Luca, which is very strange at this point of the game. Because she has not really been the main focal point of the whole thing. And you wander off and you find a red time portal, which is, again, very rare. You walk into the red time portal and you relive a very potentially traumatic event from her past. There's a way to make it not traumatic, but I think it actually works better if it is.
Yeah, that's one of those schoolyard secret things.
Yeah.
Prevent the traumatic thing. You need to know immediately what you're going to do. So if you are playing it for the first time, it is almost guaranteed you will not be able to prevent it.
And you watch her mom get sucked into a machine, and she loses the ability to use her legs. We're not exactly sure to the extent of it. But before this, Luca was not very interested in science, and then this is the thing that propels her to be interested in science. And you read these diary entries saying, like, I'm going to get good scientists, so nothing like this will ever happen again. She transports back to the future, and you find yourself in like this very quiet field that you were before in the forest with like campfire or whatever, but Robo is there. And Robo says, don't be so sad, Luca. I'll give you my legs. They're lightweight and well-balanced. You could mount some treads on me instead. And Luca says, thanks. You're such a good friend. And Robo goes, a friend? Me? A robot? You called me your friend? And then Luca says, Robo, you're so sweet. And that is Chrono Trigger.
Hello, everybody. It's me, Tom the Anime Sicko from Anime Sickos. Here's the thing about the Worst of All Possible Worlds boys. I love them. They're delightful. You may recall from the Worst of All Possible Worlds' most popular episode ever, the download numbers are off the charts, that we played Chrono Trigger with the boys earlier this year. And there's really simply no better bonding experience you can have. Even though when I say together, we all played it on our own, but then we talked about it together, which is basically the same. I've played Chrono Trigger so many times that I can just do it in my mind. So talking about it and playing it is the same. All of which is to say, I would kill any man to save these boys. Many children, not all children. I would kill any adult. Not, you get me. Okay. Congratulations on podcasting for another year. You will never believe this, but it's very difficult to do and kills you in your soul. Anyway, bye-bye.
My name is Sylvie Rosetta. I live in bumfuck Nowhere, Kentucky. And I've been listening to your show for about a year now, and I genuinely can't express my gratitude enough for what you guys do on the podcast. Going back through all of the What's Endless Summer episodes is just, one, made me realize how much being Catholic in my childhood fucked me up. And two, has helped me heal a lot from that, particularly in the last month or two with how things are looking in the political and just worldwide landscape. You are a bright light in a very, very dark world, and you've given me hope. I mean, I won't give you all the credit for it, but hope is definitely something that the show has given me. Many thanks and much love. Bye-bye.
Hey, this is Ethan from Colorado Springs. Thanks for coming to Colorado Springs. Sorry, it sucked. I mean, the mountains were hopefully nice, but focusing on the family, I imagine, was not great. But yeah, good to see you guys in person. Keep up the great work.
But how would we describe sort of the vibes, as we were stepping out of the Focus on the Family bookstore, both like our own personal vibes and the vibes of the campus more broadly?
Well, it felt to me like a really bad college campus. Like it's like trying to like mimic sort of the like academic institutions of like the of higher learning. But it doesn't quite make it. Like it looks like they cut a few corners. In terms of
and
its
most colleges don't have themed parking lots like Disneyland.
Right. Yeah.
And we walked out the door and realized that we had parked in the most important parking lot of all, the Eugene lot.
Now, all of you looking at this image, if you're anything like me, your eyes gravitated to a very specific part. Can we enhance, please?
Look at that dick! Look at, it's got a head!
There's a print. There is a print.
AJ was like, we got to get a picture of this. We took the picture, we posted it to Twitter, and it got 12,000 likes.
It is our most liked tweet
we had a viral
of
tweet
all
ever
time
on that account, and it's Eugene's dick. Like half the people I think are just like overwhelmed by the confidence of this. They're like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, the Eugene lot. I don't know why Scott the Woz is there, but then the other half of the people are like, why am I remembering the dark things from my childhood?
Hey lads, it's Sierra. I just wanted to thank you guys for yet another wonderful year of the worst of all possible worlds. It shouldn't come as too much of a surprise that many of my favorite moments of the podcast this year came from the Adventures in Odyssey episodes. I loved hearing the Blackgaard saga get wrapped up as we inch closer to the Novcom saga, which is hands down my favorite piece of Adventures in Odyssey media, so that's super exciting. It was a lot of fun hearing y'all's experience with the anniversary trip to Colorado Springs too. I love listening to the Blair Witch episode as well, since I also watched it for the first time like a week before that episode dropped, so it was cool getting all that background and hearing everything about the project was super fun and interesting. As always, I wanted to thank you guys so much for what you're doing with this podcast. It continues to be such a cool experience, and to experience a podcast that feels so uniquely tied to my own experiences and the media that I personally consume. It's all expertly executed by you guys, and the care you put into it always shines through really well. I'm not looking forward to too much about the upcoming year, but I'm super grateful and excited to experience another year of this podcast and combat those horrors with you guys. So thanks again, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your year.
Hello, worst of all possible worlds. I'm calling from England, in case that wasn't blindingly obvious, from the fact that I sound like a newsreader in a bad film. That's because I went to drama school. I can't help it. Just wanted to say that this show has meant a lot to me this year. My beautiful partner, Kaylee, introduced me to the show. And I gotta say, as a absolute theatre freak, that your back catalogue and the episodes that you have done this year on any musical content have been an absolute delight. In the Dear Evan Hansen episode, where one of you accidentally says Natasha Pierre and the World's Fair, I started singing at the exact same time as one of you beautiful boys did. Come to the fair. It's a dawn of a new day, everybody. I really feel like I found some people to match my freak. And I can't wait for 1,000 more musical episodes. Maybe not 1,000, but just an absolute delight to have listened to your podcast this year. And roll on 2025.
Can I get my Mets shit out right now? Is that okay?
Why do you think I chose this movie?
Right.
Yeah,
that was the whole purpose of this.
So,
besides the fact that I love Moneyball.
I mean, there's a few things that I like about the Mets.
What do you think is behind the Mr. Met head?
And I think the biggest one is Mrs. Met, actually.
Yeah. Who do you think is in Mrs. Met's uniform?
Mrs. Met.
So you just think that you takes off the head and there's just another head underneath it?
Do you think most people just take their head off?
She can't take her head off. That she's just there. She can take her clothes off.
You started this.
And maybe
that has described
should.
Several Google searches.
And maybe she should. I don't know. I'm not saying it one way or the other. I'm just saying that
step on me,
Mrs. Met is real.
And she is my wife.
No, she's Mr. Met's wife. I don't know if that would stop me. It just depends on the scenario.
Would you put Mr. Met in the cuck chair is my question.
Oh, no.
Would you make him watch?
No, I don't want him in the room.
Okay, you don't want him knowing.
Oh, no, he can know. Later.
Do you need him to know?
Later.
Okay, later. Later after the fact.
Hey, fellas, this is Jacob of the Socialist Shelf Podcast, and I actually have a message for you from the podcast community. We've been talking, and we believe y'all need to tone down how good your show is by about 20 to 50%, just because you are making the rest of us look bad. You are cutting into perceptions of quality, release schedule, things like that. So, take that hard. No, I obviously, love y'all's show, guys. Love all of y'all. Y'all have all been on the show. Y'all are all super, super cool guys, and I really appreciate you. Really appreciate you getting into just a weird variety of stuff from, a childhood show that I listened to just video games and all over the place. It's all really been phenomenal work from y'all this year and always. So you're greatly appreciated, and it's been, a long and frankly pretty difficult year for me on multiple levels, and y'all are a show that I can always know is going to come out on Wednesday, and whether I'm going to know the property or not, that you're talking about, whether I'm going to know the media, I'm going to have a great time. I'm going to learn a lot. I'm going to crack up. I'm going to hear a bizarre and clever and creative interstitial, and I'm going to either have something that I can, talk about, or I gotta go and watch or read or play, and so appreciate you guys, and hope you all have an even better 2025. Thank you.
This is Caroline. I found y'all this year through the Trash Future / November Kelly cinematic universe. So I started with her Hitman episode and Milo's Garth Marenghi episode, and realized I liked all of you guys a lot, so I went back and started listening from the beginning. I grew up in the South in a very, very fundamentalist, conservative, Southern Baptist environment. So hearing you guys, maybe mostly Brian, talk about, Adventures in Odyssey, Kirk Cameron, DC Talk, Mark Lowry, that it just makes me feel very seen. I'm not the only weirdo who grew up on this shit and is weird now because of it. Hearing you talk through these things from a more secular, humanistic, leftist kind of perspective is incredibly validating and healing for me. Also, just really fun. Highlight for me from this year is the Who Framed Roger Rabbit episode with Maddie Lachansky. That was one of the major movies of my childhood, and the whole episode was a delight and just incredibly lovely. I appreciate you all and love you as much as it's possible to love someone you don't really know. Definitely not in a creepy way. Thanks, bye.
Yeah. But also maybe it's that the dip does have other toxic properties. You wouldn't
You got turpentine on your skin, kind of dries you out.
You wouldn't want to dunk your hand into a thing of turpentine. That just wouldn't be a good idea.
Not too frequently, no.
Right,
No.
but again,
every once in a while for recreation.
Just for fun.
Yeah.
I tend to drink it. I'm telling you, I only
As
drink
they reach for the Fanta.
Haunted Apple. I'm just going to drink it right on my column.
There it is.
All right. ASMR
refreshing. I love hearing that when I'm editing.
Cinnamon lingers. But yeah,
Do I detect clove?
Hey, Brian, Josh, and AJ. I'm glad to be on the line with you. I got introduced to your podcast this past September when I was hanging out with my brother for his birthday dinner that I was taking him out to. So he was telling me about your Chrono Trigger episode, and I was curious about the show. So on my drive back from Columbus, Georgia, I put on a little podcast, and your most recent episode was Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which I had my friends watch for my birthday last year. So I was pretty excited to be listening to your quirky little analysis of that show. Anyway, that's not the important part. The important part is that your show is a gift to me because I get to feel connected to that same little brother who lives so far away when we spent so much of our lives living so close together. So to the three of y'all, thanks for making me feel like I'm laughing at the same bits with my brother alongside me.
Hi, worst of all possible guys. This is Rose. I actually just started listening to your podcast this year. I've binged all of it so fast. This was also the year that I moved to beautiful Champaign, Illinois, just 2 hours south of Chicago after living in upstate New York and New England all my life. So I'm far from the people I love, and it's been really nice to have some awful, awful people in my ears. I like to say gamers, not my people, theater kids, not my people, but people who are both gamers and theater people are definitely my people. So thank you for lots of warmth. this year, and here's to many more warm years.
Hi, lads. This is Miss Charlie, or as AJ delivered it in one episode of Ladscast, Miss Charlie. Just wanted to call and let you know this show is the highlight of my week, and it's especially great when you have autism because it provides a plethora of new vocal stems, chiefly among them chocolate bar. Anyway, Happy New Year, and see you next week.
Yeah. And there's stuff that floats around every hole that you're in. That and you click on that and it makes a noise.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
What kind of noise?
Various noises.
Yeah?
Like
yeah.
If you click on a deoxygenated blood cell, that's the sound those make.
Oh yeah? What is it? Can you give me that sound again?
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
When you're in the stomach, you encounter several undigested pieces of food.
Yeah.
One of them, of course, being the aforementioned chocolate bar.
Yep.
Chocolate bar.
There it is, folks. That's. We've been waiting the whole time to play that beautiful clip. Just roll it one more time, Brian.
Chocolate bar.
I just that had to be the goofy one
Chocolate
in the. That had to be the goofy one, goofy take in the brief, right? They just ran through it.
Stop it.
This is the experience of playing the game.
Chocolate bar.
Oh no!
Oh, I hate it.
The mouth.
Imagine that forever.
Forever.
It's not even a joke.
No,
that's
that
all
is-
it is.
Hi, my name's Brian from Louisiana, and I'm actually a pretty late comer to the show. I found you guys actually while riding out a hurricane this year, and I don't know if you guys have ever had to deal with a natural disaster like a hurricane, but it's essentially you get a week warning that your entire life might entirely change and you could lose everything. So it's not a happy time, but I found you guys through a spot on a different show while I was drinking my weight in beers and doing absolutely nothing else and just waiting. And the first episode I listened to was the AI, one of the AI ones, which was also my introduction to Within the Summer. So that was a nice little 2-for-1 punch, but y'all really helped me calm down through a really weird time, and I did find myself kind of tearing up a little bit. This being my introduction to the Wit stuff, and the amount of passion you guys have for that, and the amount of sympathy you have, while also lambasting the cultural decline of a dying empire. So anyways, thank y'all. I've been a Patreon subscriber, I think, the next day, and I've been going through at least 100 episodes so far, must be at least. So keep up the great work. Love you guys. Cheers from Louisiana. Yay. Bye.
Hey everyone, it's Tom from the Line Set by Donkeys podcast. Just wanted to drop you all a line to wish Brian, AJ and Josh a happy Christmas, and to all of you, the wonderful Worst of All Possible Worlds listeners, a happy Christmas too. My voice is completely fucked because I have been enjoying the libations of Christmas too much for the past week, so a very, very raspy and deep happy Christmas from me.
Yeah, it's also interesting that like sin in Catholicism for the most part is like experienced in the body, or like it's stored in the body. Like, and
sort of like how pee is stored in the balls.
That's what I was going to say, is that that
pee is a sin.
And when Christ was pierced by the spear of the lance of Longinus, out poured blood, water, and piss.
There you go.
Pee is stored in the Christ.
That piss,
That's why they call him
piss
Christ.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Is that's why Jesus was extraordinary. Was his pee was stored everywhere, not just in the balls.
He spilled his pee for me and you.
He was actually hollow.
A hollow knight indeed.
I have to just get this out. I don't care if you cut it, Josh, but
yep.
Are you washed in the piss, in the soul cleansing piss of the Lamb?
Could you redo that as a Gregorian chant, Brian, since this is a Catholicism episode?
What's Latin for piss?
I don't know. Just do it again, but just one note the whole time. That's what it has to be.
Peace de Cristo.
There we go.
Amen.
Howdy, lads. Dylan here. First time, long time, uptime, downtime, calling in from the side of a road in Boston. I just wanted to say that I think this year I've really appreciated just how vulnerable and emotional you guys are willing to get on the air, the parts of your lives that you shared with us, and just some of the, the more deeply felt stories like the essay that Josh posted recently. I think just, I appreciate it. On the one hand, I do very much understand that you are ultimately three men speaking into a line, and I'm some other guy with my ear to that line, but, there's not much more than that binding us. But at the same time, I just appreciate that emotionality because, I don't know, it's Thanksgiving and my dad's here and, he's getting on and my family's pretty small and I'm realizing that he may be the first loss I've had to deal with in the future. That may be the first one, and I don't know. I'm scared a little bit for that. I don't know what it's going to do and how it's going to change my life, and I'm nervous. So I know that, I'm not taking advice from podcasters here, but I do appreciate that emotionality because I'm someone who's pretty repressed and hasn't had to deal with a lot of this stuff yet. And I don't know, it's nice to just hear it from other people and be able to understand it a little more in that way. So genuinely, I appreciate that you're willing to share those things with us as you feel is appropriate. But yeah, and in second place, it's probably Horse Corner.
Hey boys, it's Aisha. Just wanted to call up and tell you that I think the best episode that you guys did this year was the Silent Hill one. Had a really cool guest. Like that one. All jokes aside, I just wanted to let you guys know that I really appreciate getting to hang out with you in New York this year and getting to come to the boat and hang out. I had a pretty rough year that started with an injury and ended with losing my fucking job, like about half my industry, and having you guys in my ear, both literally and figuratively, was a bright spot in the year. And I'm really glad that we got to hang out and I love being on the show. If this message is too gay to put on the show, then I totally understand, but I just wanted to tell you guys how much I appreciate you. Anyway, have a great New Year. Talk to you guys later.
Mary, it's me, your husband, James Sunderland, with the jacket. I'm here in this strange town, Silent Hill, looking for our special place. But so far, all I've found is a lot of toilets and legs. But the only toilet legs I'm looking for are yours, Mary.
I wandered through the fog. It was foggy.
Are you Mary?
My name is Alan Wake. I'm a writer. Stephen King once wrote, "I'm gonna do donuts in this outlet mall parking lot, and ain't nobody gonna stop me."
Have you seen my wife? I'm looking for my wife. My wife, Mary.
I am also looking for my wife. Her name is Alice.
Who's Alice?
My wife. She fell into a lake that's not a lake. It's an ocean, and I've been looking for her ever since.
Did you try looking in the lake?
Oh no. This whole town is like pea soup. Thick, murky, and filled with sexy, faceless nurses who try to stab me with knives, just like Mama used to make.
Are you Mary?
My name is Max Payne. I'm a cop, ex-cop, cop again, dirty cop on the make, cop killer who recently destabilized the entire Brazilian government.
Why did you do that?
Because it looked at me funny.
You can't just destabilize the entire Brazilian government because it looks at you funny.
My wife and daughter are dead. Oh, it's you. Oh, hello again. I see you are still wearing 3 top layers. I see you are also still wearing 3 top layers.
I have a jacket.
Tell me, are you still looking for Hole? Hole is like an Arby's at 3 a.m. Dark, quiet, and filled with all kinds of the meats. My preferred hole is huge and wet, because that hole is a lake.
There was a hole here. It's gone now.
Wait a minute. Do you guys ever think that, like, maybe the holes that we're searching for aren't some externalized 8-foot by 8-foot hollowed out piece of earth, but just like a gaping desire inside of us that we try to fill with writing and violence and whatever it is you do?
I have a jacket.
To distract ourselves from our own deep insecurities, our own overwhelming loneliness. So what you're saying is, we are our own holes.
And the only way to fill them...
Fellas, are you thinking what I'm thinking? That depends. Are you thinking of the woods? No. Are you thinking of a lake? No.
Are you Mary?
No. Maybe we can be each other's holes.
Jacket. I don't care
This
about
big
this.
Google eyes.
It's red.
Stephen King once wrote,
I don't care
when you look
about
at that
this.
bulge, ring
It's
a king
red.
king. If you know what I mean.
I don't care
And
about
I
this.
did. With and
It's
do.
red.
Currently.
Oh, hi, it's me, Sam Lake, creator of 2 of the 3 men making out right now. If you like Hole, why not just get yourself more of the thing you like? I know I will. Look out, sad boys. Here comes the big finish. Oh, yes. Kiss me, my creations. Kiss me.
Holes. There's no place like hole.
Artino!
Hey, Josh, Brian, and AJ. This is Trevor. I started listening to your show this year, and my friend turned me on to it. And, for a show that he said was called The Worst of All Possible Worlds, I figured it was going to be kind of a doom and gloom podcast. Everything is terrible. Everything is just getting worse. It turned out that what you have is a really, ultimately, like a more optimistic podcast. Really, it kind of helped me find the best and even some of the worst pieces of art that have come out. I can't believe it, but I started to appreciate some of the artistic merits of Skibbity Toilet. So I think that's a pretty impressive feat that you're able to do. So, I just appreciate listening to you almost every day, just kind of laughing at some of the absurdities of some of the most terrible things that have happened, but also seeing some of the silver linings and where people still find the ability to be creative. Also because of the show, I started playing pinball again, so I've really been enjoying that because of the Deep Root pinball episodes that you had. And I'm just looking forward to what you're doing in the next couple of years. Thanks. Bye.
Hello, guys. This is Nick. Happy holidays to the lads. I just wanted to thank you guys for coming to Colorado, to the belly of the beast, and making it for a good cause. I also wanted to thank you for the Skibbity Toilet episode, which allows me to shock my teenager with flawless use of Skibbity in a sentence. She barely even rolled her eyes. Thanks.
It's 2 songs mashed up into one. Number 1 is a song called Dom Dom Yes Yes by a guy named Bizer King, who's, I guess, a Belarusian. And he made this song that was then popularized by this guy named Yasin Cengiz, who is a fat Turkish guy. He does this dance where he kind of
to bring it up because the whole thing is that he's fat and he makes
bounces
his belly
big old
jiggle.
belly up and down to the beat of this song.
Yes, 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 dip, stibbity dip, stibbity double, 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 yes, 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 yes. Elate mina starta. Whoa!
It is a fun song.
It's great.
actually. And,
Yeah,
it's just, and it gets in your head immediately.
Oh my God, does it ever?
and it will never leave.
And there's something about, too, if you've seen it with the TikToks or Instagram reels of this guy bouncing his belly up and down, it will never leave you.
Yeah.
On my deathbed, I will see that belly bounce and I will hear skibbity bop bop bop.
Wait, I missed it just with listening to that. Do they say skibbity in the original track?
They do.
Yeah. You want me to play it again? I'll play it again.
Know what that?
Yes.
There it is.
It's nonsensical. It's
Yeah.
just and that's the
Yeah.
point. Skibbity can mean whatever you want it to mean.
Hey, this is Emily from the great city of Tacoma, Washington. And as a resident of the city, I already knew that we gave the world Ted Bundy. But I did not know that we were also responsible for WIT number 2. And that information has, I won't call it civic pride, but interesting at least. Thanks for another great year of podcasts, and hope to hear more from you in the next year. Stay safe.
Hi, this is Tana. I really enjoy listening to your guys' show while I'm working my job doing industrial embroidery, and I just wanted to say thanks for shining a light on the backstory behind the Blair Witch Project. I found it very interesting. I do a weekly movie night with my friends on Discord, and we pulled it up and watched it. I really enjoyed it while working on Christmas gifts this year, so thanks for that. And have a good one, guys.
On this website, we're digging around. It kind of looks like your typical movie website. It's very themed. And usually it's going to be like, maybe you'll get like a little plot synopsis. Maybe you'll have your downloadables section of the site where you can get a wallpaper or a QuickTime video.
Yeah. They should bring wallpapers back.
They never went away, not in your heart. You can make anything a wallpaper,
No, I know, but
You
they
still
should have like
JPEGs.
custom ones that you can just get for free. I don't know. I miss that. I miss that part of the internet.
Yeah.
They'll have that on the same website as the custom ringtones you can buy for 99 cents a pop if you want Linkin Park.
Hold on, let me get my LG chocolate semi smartphone real quick.
It plays
with
MP3s.
with my Verizon ringback tone.
Yes.
Please enjoy this music while your party is reached.
And then you just hear,
That's exactly what it sounded like.
That cost $36.
Sorry, kids, you can't go to college.
Daddy put all his money in the Jamsters. The Jamsters are going to be so valuable when you're grown up.
I spent all my money on hit clips.
Hey boys, this is Madeline from sunny Midford, Massachusetts. Calling in for your sort of end of year roundup to tell you how much your show has meant to me. I was waiting to call until I had something like I could come up with something more creative to say, but if I try to do that, I'm just never going to do it. So I'm doing it right now after I finished your It's a Wonderful Life episode, which is my family's Christmas movie of choice to put on replay every single year. And your show came into my life at a very interesting time. I started listening to you at the start of this year, if I remember correctly, when I was in an unfulfilling relationship with a wonderful man. Wasn't his fault. And you've come with me since I left that relationship, since I moved out of that state, since I entered a new relationship, since I, am working towards getting a new job. So it's been very meaningful to have you guys, or your voices, I don't want to get too parasocial about this, accompanying me through some really uncertain points of my life and of my year. So thanks, boys.
Oh, am I making a recording? Am I doing this? Yeah, how's your organ? I like organs. Hi, I'm Galena. Hey, them. I love your show. I love your organ. I want your organ. I love them. Thank you.
The PD kicks one woman off the jury because she likes Pretty Little Liars?
Yeah.
What the hell is that about?
Okay. It's because it's
It
her
teaches you how to
favorite
make
show.
meth.
No, it teaches you to lie.
That's not what it does.
That's the joke of it.
Is
that because it's her favorite show, she's going to like be predisposed to liking liars.
I'll take your word for it. You've been around dogs more often than I have. But
I don't know, man. I mean, maybe.
I was just like I get
Other
Duck
than
Dynasty.
that, or they just don't like it,
I
maybe?
get the cultural shorthand for Duck Dynasty. Okay, you're gone.
Right,
But for
that's how I
Pretty
took it.
Little Liars, I'm just like, what? It's the lib show? It's the show that proves
if it was
God
like,
died?
Okay, so if it was like Gilmore Girls, I could see you disqualifying somebody who likes Gilmore Girls by that same token.
Even though
because of
Gilmore
this.
Girls is a very conservative show,
Okay,
all
but,
things
but
considered.
like again, we're talking about like prevailing ideas of
about
what
it.
something signals.
Sure.
I don't think Pretty Little Liars signals anything in particular.
No, but it's debaucherous.
maybe-
It's like steamy.
Okay, so it's like
like
Desperate
steamy.
Housewives
yeah,
kind of
kind
thing.
of, yeah, but for like
Maybe the
teens or whatever.
newsroom. I like
West
the newsroom.
Wing.
Or the West
God.
Wing, or like, yeah, there are so many better signposts, but I think it's
But,
just, I don't know.
I don't understand.
I'd
I don't
rather be watching
understand
Pretty
this
Little
moment.
Liars
It's
than
such a
this
weird
bullshit.
moment.
But
And
the-
again, it's not just like one question and you're gone.
Right.
Because you don't want to just kick someone off first thing before you've heard everyone else's
But the
deal.
moment that Ray Wise preemptively disqualifies the Marine is one of the most dog brain moments in the entire fucking movie. That is full of dog brain moments.
Right, and that is a movie for the dog brains in the audience. They're
Absolutely.
like, a Marine should never get kicked off of a
Exactly.
jury.
Marine Todd.
He'll make you into his concubine.
Hi, my name is Eric Friesenhahn. I found the podcast not too long after the election, and it's been, I don't know, just a great sort of boon to me after all that stuff and the stuff that's still going on. I mean, it's been insightful. It's been hilarious. It's been me going through the backlogs. With Endless Summer has been kind of a fascinating experience to listen to as someone who never really grew up in that world. And all the other movies, games, it's been great. So I'm going to keep working my way through all the history and keep listening going forward. So I just wanted to say thanks for what you guys do and hope you keep doing it for a long time.
Hi, I'm Butch Voltaire. I just wanted to say thank you for making the podcast. It's been a very rough year for me, and nothing makes me smile and laugh quite like my three favorite white boys yakking it up on a podcast. Happy holidays if it's still that time of year when this comes out. I don't know how you do this. Bye.
Hey guys, it's Jack Drummond, one of your patrons. I'm recording this message directly after listening to the Nostalgia Critic episode, which, maybe the best work you've done. Maybe my favorite episode ever. Just fantastic. Other than that, I get the fear. I do get the fear of becoming something like that, but just to counteract that a little bit, podcasts like this genuinely make me better at consuming media. I'm able to notice more. I'm able to feel more. I'm able to just generally understand what I'm watching much better because of critique like this. You are bringing people into the world that can understand media better because of your content. And I think that's a lofty goal to hit, and you are hitting it. Genuinely.
Okay, Brian, you know what I think about that commentary? You know what I think? That's what I think.
Yeah.
This is pandering like hell.
Like pandering like hell?
Yes. Like
okay,
hell.
You gotta give it to him. That phrase has not left your mind since you heard it.
Haunts
You
you
had not
every
seen the
minute.
criticism
Nope.
of this video.
Nope.
You watched this for the very first
Nope.
time all on your own, and the first thing you did was go on to bluesky.app
That's right.
and type, "This is pandering
and,
like
and
hell."
immediately there were like
People went
5
nuts.
replies from people who knew exactly what I was talking
and
about.
I hope I haven't disappointed those people, because I've seen some comments that are like, "I can't wait to see Brian just lose his shit on this," and I'm like,
Yeah, I mean,
well, he hasn't been disrespectful to the victims of the Challenger explosion.
You know what? Here's the thing, listeners. You get to hear Josh freak out. You don't get that all that often.
That
so.
is very true.
I don't know. We get a fair amount.
So he also goes into this thing.
I can hear you rattling in your wooden shoes. It's because he's Dutch.
Hey guys, my name is Palmer. At the beginning of the year, my grandmother had passed and my parents were moving from my childhood home. I was back in the lower 48 helping them pack things away and go through my own stuff. I came across the CD case. The CD case was a 6-disc set of Adventures in Odyssey. I showed my partner and told them how excited I was and that we had to listen to this fucking crazy religious propaganda children's show from my childhood when we made the 3 hours drive north to see their family. To my dismay and their relief, the case was empty. I spent the next day or so trying to find episodes somewhere. So I thought about it and decided I didn't really want to give them money or the views. Out of curiosity, I decided to see if anyone was talking about it in this day and age. Did not know the show was still going on. Expecting to find a podcast or two talking about, hey, check out this crazy Christians radio show I found. Hoping to brighten the day with some jokes about wit. And it's been an endless summer shine ever since. So again, thanks for what y'all do. And triple thank you for releasing the essay Standing. It's so perfectly captured a feeling that I've been trying to reconcile with for some time now. Even though hearing I Can Only Imagine for the first time in so long sent me into a frozen panic state. Anyways, it helped me realize that I've been worried about the opinions of a group of people that I've not been part of for over a decade and whose opinions I truly despise. Growing up in the South, I've always been so caught up in being one of the good ones, or not like those gays. I've been married to my husband for 5 years now. My parents know that I am married. My parents still believe me and my husband are just friends. That we got married only for the benefits it would provide us when he joined the military. Anyways, so I started therapy and recently had the idea of crocheting a rainbow pride hat. I made it. I fucking love it. A couple of people have requested one. As a result, I think I'm just going to start making them. I learned to crochet from my grandmother, and so I'm going to use the craft that she taught me to clothe the people I care about most and that she despised. I'm the worst of all possible Palmers, and thanks for listening to my stories.
Hey guys, my name's Matt. My handle on Patreon is MertPie. I've enjoyed the show enormously ever since you guys started, and I'm always so curious to see just where you're going to go next. You guys are just such omnivores, and I really, really love that about the show. One episode that I wanted to focus on was actually the most recent one on It's a Wonderful Life. I've lived with a major depression for most of my life, more than 1 decade of therapy and meds and all the rest of it. And, you know, in the wake of the election, I just felt like, I didn't want to be here anymore, right? This is a nightmare. In 2016, nobody really expected that to happen, but this time they're ready, and who knows what's going to happen. So during your episode, I was really touched by what you were saying about how every individual, even when times can't get more grim, that everyone can make a contribution, everyone can help those around them, and that gave me something that I really need right now. So I just wanted to thank you all for that. All right, be well.
Hello, lads. It is Jesse Allen Bruce calling, someone who you included my message in last year's year in review episode. And as I was listening back to it, I said, God, I have to call in again because I was very hopeful at the time, but I can hear how I was white knuckling it in the extreme. And I wanted to say that this year, things have improved so much, or rather, I've improved things for myself so much. I am in a better living situation, a better job. I have a community of friends around me, and also I'm starting to make creative work that I really care about. The smaller of the two projects that I've been wanting to make for ages is I'm the person in the Discord who mentioned that BoJack Horseman podcast. And yeah, that is the smaller of the two. I wanted to mention a big thing that your Wicked episode brought up in me. So, apologies for the recency bias, but here we are. I had this memory. Wicked was huge for me personally when I was in the 7th and 8th grade. That was when it was first blowing up, and it was, the perfect level of I don't know, art to worm its way into my brain and never leave. I decided that I was really thinking about going out for the middle school musical until it was announced that it was High School Musical. And I didn't realize I didn't have the words for it at the time, but what was off-putting and why I didn't want to do it was because it was a capital G girl musical. And turns out that I am not one of those. But the thing that I've realized is it is not too late. And my proximity to musical theater, like I was in pit orchestras for 3 different productions in high school. I have still continually just loved going to musicals, and I sing and I sing and I sing. It's not too late. And I don't have to say, well, I didn't do it then, so I can never do it. The road is not closed to me, and I hope that this time next year I will be able to call into the podcast again and report all of the cool and fun musical theater stuff that has become a part of my life, or that, again, in that active voice, that I have made a part of my life. So thank you for a wonderful year and just great episodes, and I'm Mickey Mouse.
So look, the truth of it is we don't know the ramifications of our own kindness. We don't know whose life we're going to save by doing them a good turn. And yeah, maybe it's true that if we were never born, a town wouldn't degrade into neon and jazz. Maybe that's not the extent of our reach. But everyone reaches someone, and you are valuable, and you are worth more alive than dead, and you owe it to the world and to yourself to stick around. So stand up to the Potters, be kind to your fellow man, and in the immortal words of a hapless angel who happened to get his wings, remember that no man is a failure who has friends. I'm the worst of all possible AJs.
I'm the worst of all possible Brians.
Defeat your haters by staying alive. I'm the worst of all possible Joshes.
Hey everybody, the worst of all possible AJ's here. Another year of Goku inflations, horse corners, and Mr. Met getting cucked is in the books. And man, I just gotta say, what a fucking year it has been. What started with our now annual checkup on the state of Kirk Cameron gave way to a Sam Lake apology tour, a plethora of The Boss's Baby, and of course, our epic conclusion to the Darkness Before Dawn saga, which remains one of the most ambitious things we've ever made for the podcast so far. We've had so many incredible guests, each and every one an absolute delight, one of whom led to me fulfilling a dream I didn't even know I had, which was writing an interstitial for the voice of the NTA herself, Bernie Wagenblast. Thank you, Bernie. You rule. But I think my favorite episodes of the year are the ones where it was just the 3 of us lads on Brian's little houseboat talking about something we love. Josh's extended eulogies on Facebook and Supermarket Sweep, Brian's deep dives into Baby Reindeer and Tom Goes to the Mayor, my own about the Nostalgia Critic and Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. The joy of the show is getting to hang out with 2 of my favorite people in the world and actively working through the thoughts I have on any given piece of art, because I know that whatever we come up with together, it will be infinitely better than I could ever come up with on my own. So Brian and Josh, you make me a better critic, a better artist, and a better friend, and I'm forever grateful for that. Speaking of being grateful, thank you, dear listeners, for your support, for your faith in us, and for all the messages. It is so wonderful hearing from you all every year, not only to hear how the show affects y'all, but also to learn anew how horribly I've been mispronouncing your names. I'm so sorry. I'm always incredibly humbled by your stories and your trust, and that our little show has been able to help you in some small way. And look, cards on the table. This year is probably going to suck worldwide, and it will probably suck for a good long while. We are truly going to exist in the worst of all possible worlds for the foreseeable future, and I'll be honest with you, it scares the shit out of me. But what gives me hope are the signs of communities forming that are preparing for the worst and taking care of each other in the meantime. And it's going to be hard, and it's going to be exhausting, and it's going to take us to the brink of what we think we can handle, and will probably push us past that. But
the thing I'm thankful for most at the end of the year that was 2024 is that we'll have each other to help fight our way through the muck. So take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and to quote a certain pipe organ salesman in the depths of an unfathomable maze, see you in the stars.
Hey everyone, it's Brian. Happy Sea Gives. That's what I call Christmas, in keeping with my nickname for Thanksgiving, which is, of course, He Gives, in case you weren't up to date on the lore. Anyway, I don't even know where to begin talking about this year. I mean, we started off strong with one of our Left Behind episodes, going right into Donkey Kong Country. And from then, I mean, we've had so many amazing guests, so many returning guests and new guests, and not a single dud out of all of them. I can't even begin naming because I don't want to play any favorites, and I wouldn't have the time to name everybody. But oh my God, what a year. I'm just like looking at the list of episodes in front of my face right now. And just like, holy shit, we did all of that. We did Sleep No More and the Darkness Before Dawn trilogy, something that I've been working up to since the day that we started this podcast. And it's bewildering that we've been able to get all of this stuff done. And even wrapping up with this sort of stealth Frank Capra trilogy and AJ's cockamamie scheme to somehow cover the entirety of Doug Walker in a single episode, and it worked so well. And not to mention all the great shows that we've had on with us, and the shows that we have gone on, and the crazy stuff that we did for Darkness Before Dawn. And I converted AJ; he's a Protestant now, and I really couldn't do. I mean, it's amazing. Like, I can't see a future of me doing anything by myself. It's all the three of us that make the show. Josh really shepherding it, and AJ, one of my favorite writers, writing all of this material. And then I just sort of edit. I don't know how I got this job. I'm just rambling, basically, but I hope all of you are having a great Sea Gives. And we can't wait to see you next year on Why Gives. Yeah, I think I'll just end it there. Have a good one.
Hi, it's Josh. I have been in editing hell for the last 48 hours, so hopefully this makes sense. I don't know. We'll find out. Also, if you've gotten to this point and you're like, where's my voicemail? I'm sorry. I either lost track of it or I couldn't find a place to fit it. We got so many more submissions this year, and I did my best to keep as much in as I could. Call back next year, and we'll get you in if we can. Thank you to everybody for listening to our show for yet another year. It was pretty crazy putting the edit together this year, and I don't know, just hearing the range of stories and experiences that everybody brings. And I know I've said this before, and I'll probably say it again. I see no reason to believe that the future, at least the immediate near-term future, is going to be particularly great or even good. But I do believe that this world is better for having all of you in it. Beyond that, obviously, Brian, AJ, I know you're listening to this too. Thank you for another year of just putting up with my bullshit and all of us kind of doing our best to make this thing work and work together. I think we work together really well, and that makes me proud. Also just going to thank our guests, obviously. Need to do that. We had so many. They were so good. November, Dara, Bernie, Andy, Jake, Devon, Dono, Audrey, Graham, Uriah, Trevor, Patrick, Josh, Scott, Ann, Steve, Devon, Trinket, Tall Bart, Alex, Tom, Joe, Audrey again, Corla, June, Justin, Jake, Maddie, Tom. My God, there's so many people on this list. Kevin, Aisha, Dono again, Tim, Tom. Yeah, good God, y'all. It's been a crazy year. I guess I should also do the outro. because this is the last episode of the year. So with that, I'm the worst of all possible Joshes. We will see you next year, and that's a goddamn promise.